Hey, how's it going everyone? Teysind here. So since the first half of 2020, I haven't been able to play any video games, in addition to do many other basic things like type on a computer, use a mouse, use my phone, put my shoes on, dress myself properly, just due to a lot of musculoskeletal uh, issues and impairments I've got, many permanent, but improvable in ways, or manageable, I should say, both in terms of, sort of physical health, exercise and strategies, but also in terms of equipment and stuff that exists out there. And after 15 months of intense physiotherapy or physical therapy, it's called in some parts of the world, I've finally been able to play and beat a video game. So I thought just as a bit of a, I guess, almost like a celebration in a way in my life, not specifically that's a video game per se, but just to physically being able to achieve something that could be considered quite minimally physical to many, but to me has been such a challenge. I'm just so glad to have finally been able to do it, because I have tried a couple of times and absolutely failed. So it's just such an awesome moment. So I've been not only sharing about the experience, but also the game itself. So the game I managed to beat is Metroid Dread, not only being my first game since, let me see, so it was probably June 2020 I beat my last game in extreme pain, and that was The Last of Us Part 2, and I honestly just pushed through that because of all the leaks and everything that happened with that game just prior to release, and I didn't want to get spoiled. So I guess to the benefit in that regards, but detriment in terms of health. But yeah, finally, this game was coming out. I'd never played a Metroid game ever. I thought, now is the time I could maybe give it a go with a game. And yeah, I got it in November and I managed to beat it. And it took me a long time to beat and a lot of workarounds. I'm going to say it took me about 1 month at least to beat, and I put 15 hours into the game. So you average it out to about half an hour a day, but for me it was probably a couple of days here playing and then like a couple of days just not even trying to touch the controller. But I'm so excited, so I just thought it's something to share with you, and just everything that's sort of helped me to get to a point where I could even attempt to play a game. There have been some instances where I tried and just I couldn't, part of which I couldn't sit long enough, I couldn't stand long enough, and then the large part is just my arms, just pressing buttons, and then nerve problem going down my arm through this part of my body here. When you sit, obviously your shoulders can go forward a bit, and most chairs, if you try and sit straight on them, they're angled backwards, so you go back, you're essentially looking up. If I want to try and keep my posture in a way that can reduce this nerve compression that I've got going on. So and that's just one of many, but yeah, I've managed to get a few new bits of equipment that can help me out, and with a bit of help I was able to do it just in little half an hour batches of playtime, and then I'd have to go off and exercise for 15 to 30 minutes or so on, and then have a rest, and then later in the day try it again. But yeah, it felt so good. I'm probably just saying this over and over again, but it's something that I've wished to do for so long now, because when you have these, I guess, some of these permanent impairments to your body, I guess begin going back long ago. I had to very suddenly give up many of the things that were, I guess, hobbies and sort of things that create a lot of enjoyment in my life, from exercise and fitness to so many sports, skateboarding especially. And then I found a good place in playing games, something I'd always done throughout my entire life, especially a lot before I got into things like skateboarding and the gym and so on. But to be able to have still had the capacity to do that was something very comforting to be able to experience new worlds and stories, and be able to think about a lot of things and learn a lot of things, and this transition obviously into everything else I do in my life through my studies and profession. A lot of stuff that required me to use my mind more than my body. But then to lose the capacity to even do something like playing a game is very heartbreaking. Might sound over the top, but when it's something that can be considered so basic and you can't even do that, it's very mentally deteriorating, because it reflects not just on an inability to do something like that, but many basic things that are, I guess, affect everything else I do in my life. Inability to type is an inability to write emails and respond to people. Inability to use a phone is an inability to easily make contact with people, which can also create, communication issues, and also very detachment from everything else outside of my room and my home and my family caring for me. And then even basic things like food and eating, the inability to properly consume food and drink water, and all those things sort of goes down to the basics of, well, they're the things that you need to survive, to be able to brush your teeth as well, go to the toilet, all these things that just became something that, as one of my specialists said, is something that becomes a basic task for young children that they can do without thought. And for me, it was almost like a challenge in itself to be able to do such basic things. So yeah, it just feels so great to be able to do it. And for this to also be my first Metroid game ever, absolutely loved it. This game was, obviously I can't compare it to other Metroid games, but just the experience alone, there was just so many great things about this. Story-wise, absolutely loved the story. Obviously I don't have the same knowledge and understanding of all the stories prior, and how it all connects beyond what had sort of been told throughout this story. But still, it was just something that felt like it was a great way to be able to rejoin the world of immersive storytelling and so on through video games. So yeah, since then I managed to then pick up a game that I absolutely loved quite a long time ago. I've mentioned before, Destiny was one I sort of like most, I don't want to say addictive, but most immersive gaming experiences. It was the first like online gaming experience I had of a game I had owned, and I put in probably over 1,000 hours into it. But I started to try Destiny 2 just because I heard that there was going to be some content that was going away in favor of new content coming in, and I wanted to try it. And I managed to pick up this back button attachment to see if that could maybe help me play games, because I can't actually properly push in the dual sticks, so the R3, L3. This managed to act as replacements, and yeah, I managed to do okay for a few weeks or so, and then it probably my elbow specifically got worse, so I had to stop and then not play anything for 2 months. And it's only just maybe January or so, let me think. Yeah, January, mid-January, trying to play some games again. And now I've gone in favor of playing turn-based games, or a turn-based game. I don't want to say which game it is though, because I'd rather talk more about it once I finished it. But I felt that turn-based games, sort of like the roots of Japanese RPGs from my childhood, funnily enough, best suited to me because they don't require the same physical, I guess, intensity of responding to quick actions and so on as you would in like an action RPG or an action game and so on. So yeah, it gives me room to go back to a lot of classic and older JRPGs that I still haven't yet played from the PlayStation 1, 2, Super Nintendo and so on. And yeah, I don't know, I just thought this is just so exciting for me. Just as exciting as it was for me to successfully cut an apple not long ago, you know, even though I still can't even do that with ease. But yeah, it was great. But anyways, I'll leave it at that for now. I'm starting to have a bit of pain sitting down in this chair. Yeah, I don't know if you stuck around listening to me, just, I'm not sure, ramble or so on. Thank you so much. But I'd love to hear how all of you are doing, and, you know, sort of how things are going in your lives. You know, there are a lot of serious things going on at the moment. Not that they haven't been there before, but, you know, some very sort of public global issues going on, yeah, aside from COVID and stuff. So depending on where you are, or regardless of where you are, you know, I wish you all good safety, and that you're all, you know, doing the best you can to take care of each other however you can. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you again, and chatting to you all soon. Hopefully, you know, this is a point where I don't have to, I guess, yo-yo back out of being able to play, but I can just find a nice steady point where I can just, even if it's just half an hour a day or an hour every second day or something, that can just keep me immersed in just these amazing stories and stuff. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Take good care, everyone, and until next video, stay spot on.